Dales. For the last 15 years, this gorgeous landscape has been the canvas that my family's life has been painted on. And whilst so many of our adventures start in the car, our favourite way to explore this gorgeous part of the world is on foot. There is nothing quite like walking the Yorkshire Dales. From its rolling hills to its beautiful forests and picturesque villages. In this series, you're going to join us on 7 wonderful walks. Some we know well, but others are brand new to us. Along the way, we'll take in some breathtaking views, and using my famous map reading skills, we might just learn a thing or two. But where are we going today? Welcome everyone to the Classical Yorkshire Dales and a walk which I've been looking forward to all series. Now, what exactly do I mean when I say Classical Yorkshire Dales? Well, I'll tell you. In 1974, thanks to a government county realignment, the border between Durham and Yorkshire was moved. And so this gorgeous part of the Yorkshire Dales suddenly found itself on the outside looking in. Now, I'm normally a rule follower, and this isn't technically the Yorkshire Dales, but in this case, I'm going to make an exception. Because how can a part of the world as absolutely gorgeous as this not be included in our series? See, I told you it was rather pretty, didn't I? And the fact remains, for thousands of years, this was part of the Yorkshire Dales, and it is still to this day categorised as Classical Yorkshire Dales. So today we're going to be walking through an area which I've wanted to come to for as long as I can remember, because there are stately homes, there are gorgeous woods, there's absolutely loads of sheep, and there's a lane on this walk that is nationally renowned. So I think we should stop talking and we should get walking as we go and enjoy another walk in the Dales. So welcome everyone to Swaledale. We're making our way into the village of Hartford to start our walk, and this was once a very special place because it was once the manor of a very important family. Think the Crawleys of Downton Abbey, except here it was the Craddocks of Hartford Hall. actually a bit of a mystery because the hotel now appears to be closed. But all is not lost because the house was actually sold quite a few years ago to pay death duties. So the lord of the manor needed another home. And we're going to be walking straight past it today. It's built about 18 years ago, and I'm told it looks gorgeous. And it's just through this village down here. As we leave home farm behind us, this is a walk which feels very different to all that's gone before. It feels more like we're walking through an estate, like Chatsworth maybe, or Downton of course. But things are about to get a whole lot wilder. One of the things I just love the Yorkshire Dales for, as I walk through this really beautiful field, absolutely full of sheep, is the variety of walks that there are available. You can go from crazy moorland, you know, up serious heights, to a much more sedate's the wrong word, because today's walk is quite lengthy, but it's much flatter because we're lower down in the dale. And actually, it's another dale, Swaledale, which is famous for its cheese. I don't recall though, I definitely had it when I was young, but I don't think I've had it for a little while, which is, I think, something I'm going to have to remedy, because as I recall, it's absolutely delicious. It's particularly appropriate too that we're just surrounded by all these sheep, because Swaledale cheese was traditionally actually made with ewe's milk. The version I've had though was made with cow's milk, so it's definitely not traditional Swaledale. Look at these gorgeous sheepies. Well, that's no good. It's a public footpath, but there's no public access due to forest operations. They must be doing work in there. So we're going to have to take a detour. Map checked, and we're on the right path. And thankfully we've got no more woods to walk through now, so there can't be any more detours. And I'm actually really excited that we're coming this way, because we were detouring off our main route to take a look at this jagger lane, and now we're going to walk straight down it. And talk about walking through history, because this lane was created just by chance, by guys with their horses and their carts dragging their be all sorts from the mining stuff, so lead and tin, but also probably cheese, with the monks, of course, who, as we found out in our Wensleydale episode, monks brought cheese making here as well. So there'll be all sorts coming down Jagger Lane, and now we're going to get to walk straight down it. But take a look at this. Just beautiful. My goodness. There's just gorgeous little river crossings all over the place. It is an absolutely stunning part of the world. And it is literally sheep as far as the eye can see. Just look. So our little detour has brought us to one of the things I've been looking forward to seeing on this walk, probably more than anything, and it's Jagger Lane. Now, I'm not talking about the Rolling Stones. Oh no, this is a road that's been here for thousands of years, and this is it. What a place. You can just feel the atmosphere. I mean, a road made just through constant movement of horses and carts, and I mean, just look at it. And as roads go, as ancient roads go in the UK, this is a really famous one. And I can't believe I've never come before. I only actually thought there's quite a lot of roads like this down south. You know, once you get sort of south of London, there's an awful lot of these types of things. But here is our very own. I think it would be wrong of me not to get down and just have a little walk along Jagger Lane itself. It just is, it's so beautiful today because there's just nobody here apart from you and me and a whole load of sheep. I'm just getting up now as I walk past. There's something that I always enjoy, and that is when you can walk in the footsteps of people who've gone before you. And sometimes it's difficult to know, isn't it, exactly where people have been. And here is a road made by men and women and horses and carts. I love it. So as we leave Jagger Lane behind us, it's time for us now to go in search of a place called Gilling West. I've driven through it many times over the years. I've always wanted to visit, and it turns out it's a very, very special and important place. Would you believe it? We're actually catching the bottom end of Hartford wood. This is the wood that we'd intended to walk right through. It's just over there actually. We've just picked up the bottom side of it now. So it shows that I am on the right track, thankfully. My famous map reading skills are keeping me honest today, thank goodness. Now, we're in search actually. It's going to get easier underfoot, which is good. It's nowhere near as hard as our last walk today, but I'm actually quite looking forward to getting onto some roads because we're now on the trail of Gilling West. We're now actually making our way down Waters Lane, and it's called such because you can see just down there there's loads of fish ponds, and they've been there for generations. It's because the valley dips right down and all the water condensates down the bottom, and people still use them today for fishing, but they've been there for an awfully long time. I just love freshly ploughed fields. I don't know why. I think it's growing up where I grew up, we're surrounded. I mean, it's very similar to this actually, except nowhere near as hilly. But the smell, and I don't know, maybe it's because I'm a boy as well, and tractors, and you know, just loving. Actually, I remember when I was young, I used to have this amazing farm. It was made of plastic, sadly, but there was like a road for the tractor, and there was barns and all sorts. And I'm convinced it's because of where I grew up, and I think that's why now he's up there somewhere. I think he's going to come back and do that bit any minute. And there in the distance, actually, you can still see Hartford Hall and Home Farm. And it does feel decidedly estate-esque. It's very sort of, it feels a little bit Chatsworthy, especially when you get out onto these estate roads. Such a difference to the other walks that we've done so far in the series. Now, this area is just absolutely beautiful, and there's actually a really exclusive wedding venue, and I think it's a place where you can stay as well. I think they do bed and breakfast, and they've got cottage and all sorts, and it's just down here on the left. It's an absolutely vast complex actually, and it does look really posh, and it's sort of cool to see this in this landscape. It'd be a beautiful place to get married. I've taken a look at their website actually, and it does look seriously exclusive. I'll link it in the show notes too, so you can take a look as well. But there's our destination ahead of us. It's the gorgeous Gilling West. It's just one more rather fancy looking style. I think I'm going to have to get my leg over on this one. This is not going to be pretty. Thank goodness I'm tall, but it's too low down that side. Oh my goodness. Made it. Wow. Come on, let's go take a look. And the best part is St Agatha's is open to this day. People flock here to get married. And can you imagine getting married here and then having your reception up at the venue that we saw earlier? It'd be just perfect, wouldn't it? But Gilling West has an awful lot more to offer. So let's see if we can find the main street and see what we can find out about this really interesting place. Now that's all super interesting, isn't it? But it's not very exciting. It's really hard to imagine what Gilling West would have been like 1,000 years ago when it was one of the most important towns in all of Anglo-Saxon Britain. But every so often, Gilling West likes to remind us of its heritage. Just ask Gary Frid. It's just amazing to think that down there someone pulled a 1,000-year-old sword. Can you believe it, ladies and gentlemen, but our walk is nearly over. But my goodness, I've loved every second of this one. What I've loved so much about this walk is its accessibility. It just shows you that Dales has got something for absolutely everybody. But also, what I've loved about the story that we've discovered is the foundation of the Dales is tied to the very foundation of England itself. But folks, that's it. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time for more Walking the Dales.